Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with Monday Night Raw, streamed live last night on Netflix from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta. The show closed with a confrontation between WWE Champion Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, in which Punk indicated his goal would be to win the Royal Rumble and challenge Rhodes for the title at WrestleMania.
A lot of men have said that they hope it's me that catches them, but there's a graveyard full of careers that wanted me to catch them right up until I did.
I wasn't done. Oh, I wasn't done. I want you to catch up. I want you to win the Royal Rumble, and I hope it's you, because I want to see the look on your face when you find out that the best in the world isn't the best in the world anymore.
After the show went off the air, Rhodes was attacked in the ring by Carmelo Hayes, who declared his spot in the Rumble. In the actual main event of the show, Drew McIntyre pinned Sami Zayn with his feet on the ropes. McIntyre continued the attack after the match until Rhodes made the save. Rhodes was then jumped by Kevin Owens and wound up the victim of an accidental haluva kick from Zayn.
Get out of oh no! Sami Zayn with a haluva kick to Rhodes, and I mean that had to be an accident. That had to be an accident again.
I don't know, Cole. Once, maybe. Back-to-back weeks, accidental haluva kicks.
McIntyre also interrupted Paul Heyman's in-ring promo earlier in the night, letting Heyman know he'd be targeting Punk in the Rumble. During Heyman's promo, it was revealed that Roman Reigns would be on the cover of the new WWE 2K25 video game. Logan Paul made what was billed as his official debut on Raw on Netflix, appearing during the opening segment during a promo that also involved Seth Rollins and World Champion Gunther. Also on the show, women's tag team champions Bianca Belair and Naomi beat Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan in a non-title match. Rey Mysterio pinned Xavier Woods, and the Viking Raiders retained the World Tag Team title, defeating JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio when Eric pinned Dominic. In related WWE injury news, McDonough suffered broken ribs and a punctured lung last night during he and Mysterio's match against the Raiders. During a springboard moonsault from the ring to the floor, McDonough landed on Ivar but fell backwards and slammed his upper body into the announce desk. The match continued, but after it was over, McDonough was rushed to the hospital where the extent of his injuries were discovered. In a post on social media this morning, McDonough stated, quote, "I've got a couple of broken ribs and a punctured lung, so I'm going to be out for a couple of months. All things considered, it could have been a lot worse, so I'm grateful for that. See you in a bit." End quote. In ratings news, SmackDown drew an audience of 1.455 million viewers to USA Network last Friday, according to WrestleNomics. That's a slight increase from the previous week's audience of 1.403 million. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a .44, also up slightly from the previous week's rating of .42. In more WWE news, Jordynne Grace has officially signed with the company, as was first reported yesterday by Fightful Select. The contract reportedly calls for a multi-year deal and was signed and made known internally within TNA several weeks before Grace finished up her time with TNA. And in news from outside the ring, Major League Soccer is moving its production team to WWE's corporate headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, according to Variety. The move comes as MLS renews its deal with IMG, a management company owned by WWE's parent company, Endeavor Group Holdings. MLS Productions plans to use the studio space in Stamford to produce programming for more than 600 annual games for MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Endeavor is in the process of completing its acquisition of IMG, which is expected to be completed this year. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the wrestling news. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.